Are you there? Hello. What's going on? So, I'm going to tell you about my weekend. And it was a very long, dramatic, and very exhausting weekend because I think Friday morning when I finally went to sleep, I probably got 2.5 hours of sleep. And that was before the event on Friday for the MSWA show, Mid South Justice. And yeah, it wasn't because I was, like nerves or jitters or anything crazy like that. It was because I had gotten about, I'd say 6 or 7 phone calls within the span of 3 hours. So I finally just gave up and I got out of bed. Gotta do a little multitasking here. So long story short, I get about 2 hours of bedtime, 2.5, 3 hours of bedtime, and I have to get up in the morning and do the generic promoter stuff. I've got to go get concessions picked up. I've got to go, talk to the building owner, make sure the permits are all taken care of, get all that boring shit out of the way, and then get to the venue so that I can set the ring up and the chairs and tables and all that. Just like any other wrestling event, the ring showed up late, the wrestlers got lost, and the money went missing. So it was a fucking great time. Just kidding, the money didn't go missing. I had it put away somewhere, and then for a little while I forgot where I put it, so that got a little freaky. And then having to set up, tear down, and get it all done within a timely manner so that you can go have a beer after is always the goal. And I think we did a pretty good job of getting it all done. I think we had the show done. Show was over within an hour and 45 minutes because I didn't want to do an intermission. Rather than an intermission, we did a meet and greet beforehand, and we did a little bit of a get-together after the show was over. I don't always think intermissions are a good idea because they can really kill the crowd. Whenever you try to bring them back after your break, they lose a lot of energy and they're not really as interested in the show as they would have been had you just kept going, and kept that momentum. As the card as a whole, I only had maybe 2 issues all night. One with talent, one with fan, and they were both handled really quickly, real easily. We had a fan who didn't like where they were sitting, and I was just like, hey, it's a very small venue. It's a very small venue. There's not a lot of options. We'll just have to work with what we got. No, Laura, I'm not talking about you. We also had one worker who didn't want to do what I asked him, and I explained to him that that's exactly how this works. If you agree to take a booking, your agreement is 100% based on what the promoter, booker, writer, agent, whatever tells you to do. If you and I don't have a lot of specific instructions for anybody. I want everybody to do their own thing and be yourself. I'm not going to tell you who to be or what to do, but when it comes to finishes, if I tell you who's going to win, who's going to lose, whatever the fuck, kayfabe, do what the promoter asks. This is just more information that can promote positivity toward all talent. If you're a wrestler and you don't like what you're doing, come to your promoter and adjust it. Don't refuse to do it, but adjust it. Say, hey, can we do this instead? And if I tell you, hey, we can't do that because of certain specific reasons, either you tell me you're going to do it or you're not. In this case, dude said he wasn't going to do it. So I just look over my shoulder and I say, well, who will? And sure enough, within a heartbeat, there was someone else on the show that was very excited to do the spot, so I let him have it. And you know what? When one person refuses to do something and someone else volunteers to do it, it's pretty clear on who made themselves look bad and who made themselves look really good. Surprise, surprise, my best friend stood up and helped with the show. Sam was all in. He was like, "I will do it, no problem." So yeah, man. Before the show, after the show, during the show, everything went smooth. It was everything we hoped it would be and more. We turned a profit. We were able to come up with enough money for permits and licenses for our next show. As long as we're able to all agree on a date and we can do it, there will be another Mid-South show, and we can all thank the fans for showing up to my first ever attempt at promoting a wrestling event, Mid-South Justice. So, big thank you to everyone who showed up to help put on some really great matches. Special congratulations to Chelsea for her wrestling debut that went very, very well. She did an incredible job. I was so happy for her. Main event was great. Tag matches were both great. The opening contest was great. The VIP match was probably my second favorite match of the night. My favorite was Camacho versus Sam because of very, very personal fucking reasons. That was my best friend and my best opponent. I wanted to see what they could do in the ring together, and they delivered. So, I want to see that match again. So, I look forward to that in the future. Mid-South Justice as a whole was a very big deal, and I want to also say that my good friend Revin stood up much higher than anyone else ever could have imagined, and he did everything he could in his power to make sure we had that show, and I couldn't have done it without him. So, very big thank you to Revin. On to Saturday. After getting virtually zero sleep, I woke up in the morning and went and made a little deposit to the bank. Got up, bought breakfast for my wife, fiance, whatever you want to call her. I'm starting to get into the habit of calling her my wife. It's kind of nice. Wedding is still, 10 months away. It's fucking miserable. I wanna get that done now. I don't want to wait anymore. So Saturday we get up early in the morning and the ride picks me up. It's Draven, Revin, and myself, and we hit the road to Muldrow, which I didn't realize was very, very far from the Tulsa area. So all those Tulsa people were traveling just about as far as we were to be at that show, and I had a very big task ahead of me. Every fucking time. Big task ahead of me, involved in the main event match with Wesley Crane, Double D, and Dmitry Alexandrov. And I'd never been in the ring with Dmitry before, so that was a lot of fun. We spent the first 5 minutes playing a football game. That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the fact that we were able to make it fun, and it was a new wrestling crowd, so they had never seen live WFC event before, so we decided to make it as entertaining as possible. And Double D came to the ring in a complete football uniform, which was hilarious. The dude is so thin that he can fit in a child's set of shoulder pads. So when we put that together, it became something real special. I was a little bit down on myself after that match was over because I felt like I personally could have done a lot better, but like I tell everyone else, you can't dwell on your last match. You have to focus on your next one. And next week I have 3 more. So I had a double this week. I got a triple next week. 1 Friday, 2 Saturday. So that's going to be a very big week, and I am certain that I will be here telling you all about it. So I will talk to you later.